I am not going to ask you about British politics because even I would not dare to do that. But with Brexit, now this, trade war, all this stuff doing this, can earnings of U.S. companies hold up? Is the U.S. market still a good value given what is arguably the most uncertain environment we've had in 5 to 10 years?
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, uncertainty obviously leads to more volatility. But, historically, political uncertainty, whether it's trade, which obviously we're experiencing in the U.S., or Brexit, I mean, typically it's a contrarian indicator. So, I think what investors need to determine is this just noise or is it the end of the overall uptrend in the market? And if you believe the uptrend's still intact and this is just noise, this presents a good buying opportunity. And it's really at that point, it's all about sourcing good companies and investable themes that you want to be a part of. And we are in the camp that believes that the uptrend is still intact and this is all just a bunch of noise. As far as Brexit goes, I don't think it's going to affect U.S. companies as much, right? So if we were experiencing a hard landing in China, that would have a much bigger impact on U.S. stocks.
And we're going to bring another voice. Everything has gotten compressed, so I appreciate everybody's flexibility this morning. I know everybody got up early. Tim Seymour also joining us now as well. The main news, obviously, sort of now taking up a lot of the airspace there. Tim Seymour welcoming in as well. Tim, good morning. Your reaction, by the way, you heard my question to Mark. We may not care about British politics, but we care about Brexit. We care about the trade war. And I just wonder if this adds another layer of just massive uncertainty to the market at all.
Sure. Look, as I drink my tea and eat my crumpets this morning, Brian, I think the reality of Brexit and a hard exit on October 31st from the European Union for the UK is not a good thing for their economy. In the context of the overall impact, yeah, I agree there's some limited impact. But I think in the sense that we're evaluating global growth headwinds around the world, the fact that we already know the impact of what the trade war did to essentially the synchronized global growth story, this is not good news. I think this is ultimately, though, a sign of political dysfunction around the world, and this is another kind of secular dynamic at work here. So I think this is the political process in a number of countries around the world. The European Union has significant issues that I think as growth goes lower, you're going to see them exacerbated, especially in places like Italy and Spain. And those are things that we really haven't talked about in a long time.
Mark, and I guess the theory is, buy at the point of maximum uncertainty. Now, the markets have done well this year. We need to remember that. We are still well higher, double digits, for the year. Do you feel like there is not maximum uncertainty right now, but certainly a lot of uncertainty right now, and that makes things a little more attractive?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, I don't know that we're at maximum uncertainty.
No,
I don't think we're going to get, we're not going to get there until there's even more issues with trade. And quite frankly, I don't think we get a trade deal done until somewhere around the end of the year. I do think it gets done, though. And if that's the case, if a trade deal does get done, there's certainly opportunities out there. Do you have to rush out and buy those positions today? No, what you should be doing is you should be identifying positions that maybe you fell in love with, but you weren't able to scoop up at a price that you determined to be reasonable. And you figure out a range, and when it falls into that range, that's when you start to accumulate shares. But, within the market, there's still a ton of great opportunities, and it's all about sourcing them, right?
Yeah.
So finding good companies that have good growth stories and investable themes that you want to be a part of, that's what it's all about right now. And
Tim, let's not forget, President Trump late last night with this Huawei thing, a little bit of an olive branch to the Chinese. Do you think that's why futures are up 113 and we're seeing the UK markets rally into this news?
I think yesterday also there was some heavy position squaring into a long holiday weekend. I think the headlines continue to be a little bit of an ebb and flow for markets. But look, if we don't get a trade deal to the end of the year, I think there's a lot of volatility ahead for stocks that are 3% off the all-time highs. So I don't think the equity market is in line with what the fixed income market is telling you in terms of, we ticked down to 229 on the 10-year yesterday. Those flash PMIs for May out of the U.S. were 3-year lows. I think we were already on look, the leading indicators were leading downward, Brian, and that's something to be concerned about right now.